Olandria said what needed to be said. I'm so sorry. Olandria said what needed to be said. If I am natural, if this is how I am born, there is no competition with anybody who is not natural. Do you understand? There just isn't. It doesn't make sense. You may have gone to extend certain parts of your body where I have just been given that homegrown, not from Home Depot. And so therefore, what do we even need to compare? Okay, so I feel like this was definitely shade towards Clark, and I feel like Clark and the faces that she was making and etc. I don't think that she really meant it like that. I don't think the beef is that deep and serious. Of course, this was what Kiki was kind of guiding in this interview, but I don't think that there is any serious beef between them two. But sometimes you need to let them know that you can't compare with what's not comparable. If I am natural and you are not, why are we comparing? Why are we going to compare somebody's, body compared to somebody else who's been on steroids in the gym? Two men, like, you ain't going to do that. But a lot of people compare themselves to these big muscular men, but these men are popping pills, and not even just steroids. When they're off the steroids, they have to start popping hormones to balance it all out. All of this stuff as if they're a scientist, when really they just roided out. You're not going to be comparing both of them. So I'm glad that she made that understanding. Let's clock it, whatever you want to call it. Let's, draw the line in the sand so the communication is clear. But yeah, I don't think that Clark was being, rude, or, very much evil spirited. I don't think that she comes off like that. I do think that there is some producer, influence here. And I do think that she was moving faces, but I don't think it was that serious. But, this was what needed to be addressed. Now, in this Olandria Shelley interview, I did think it was great. We did hear about Ace and Shelley, to an extent. We heard about Olandria and Nick and the pressure situations with Clark. But two issues I had is, one is that Islanders, if you're going to do these interviews, you need to go and do your homework and watch your season. Watch every scene, watch moments if you want to, so that you are more prepped for the interviews and you can come at people in a more precise manner. Number two, I felt like Keke Palmer isn't that much of a great interviewer, to be honest with you. I felt like it was kind of convoluted, a bit mixed up. They were both speaking at the same time at one point. I would have preferred if Keke had interviewed Shelley and Olandria alone, so that we can get one-on-one and it's just more in-depth and understanding. But I felt like it was a little bit all over the place at sometimes, disorganized, disheveled, and it just could have been done better, to be honest with you. But I'm glad that they've spoken out. A lot of people are, questioning why it wasn't as dramatic. Why didn't they speak about, messy stuff here and there? To be honest with you guys, I don't think it needs to be dramatic. They've already been labeled mean girls. People assume that they are the bullies and etc. So I don't even think that it needs to go to that level. I felt like, it is what it is. It gave the fans more content for them. The interview has gained a lot of views, nearly 1 million. So it's done what it's needed to do. So I just don't think that it needed to be anything negative, because certain things can be twisted and ran with, and we just don't need that right now, because there might be another article talking about giving Shelley a knuckle sandwich. We don't need that all over again. So I think that the interview was cute. It gave what it needed to give. We got some slight shade here and there. We got some understanding of the relationships and what they went through. But one thing Keke said at the end was that, she's here for Shelley and Ace, but, someone for Olandria, whether it's Nick or anybody else. She is not a fan of that man. Do you understand? She's not a fan of that man. She doesn't like that man. And I feel like she's not here for Nick Olandria. Hey guys, it's more Raleigh. Daily and consistent content. Grab your tickets to the reunion. Within 24 hours of me announcing that a couple of days ago, the early bird tickets have already sold out. So they sold out quick. You guys are ready to come to this reunion. It's going to be one of the messiest, in my opinion. Grab your tickets. They're in the link below and in the pinned comment. If you're coming alone, DM me. I can add you to a solo group of lit people who are all well accustomed with each other and are very much welcoming. Grab your tickets. They include drinks. They include snacks. We're going to watch the reunion. It's going to be dramatic as hell. August 25th on a Monday, I believe at 8 p.m. in New York. I believe the location will be in Lower East, Brooklyn. I'm just trying to find out right now. But as of right now, we don't have one. We're looking at a few options that have been given to us and we are just assessing them. Once we do have one that we finalize, that will be added. But, we've still got over a month before the reunion. So definitely grab those tickets, because once they're gone, guys, I'm not opening up for more. Do you understand? They're gone. Now, Nick was getting dragged, guys. I want to get into this because Nick was getting his lashings. We also see Cierra's post, and I do believe that she has every right to address Nick and address the fact that she was messed up by that man. Her saying slurs and being chucked off the show is a completely different scenario. They don't interlink. They do to an extent with the fact that she left the show, but they're two separate, in my opinion. And I do feel like she has a right. People saying that she can't address Nick because she got dragged off the show. No. She can address Nick with all her might, as much as she wants to, because that man was closed off with her very possessive when people were making her pizza or coffee or etc. or tea or whatever the other guys were doing. And then suddenly, you know, you don't even speak to her once the show's ended. You unfollow her. You act like she doesn't even exist. Not even a message to be like, hope you're good, hope you're okay. I'm with Olandria now, just to let you know, and etc. This is just the power of the course. Nothing. You just completely acted like she didn't exist. Toxic behaviors. And a lot of people were calling Nick out on the TL, saying that, you know, he is, you know, people have been calling him a fraud. People saying that he's a scammer because he's on Cameo and on TikTok. I mean, I just feel like, get your money. Like, you know, this is the time where you want to get your money. Ain't nothing wrong with you getting your money. But I do feel like he messed up things with Cierra, and I think it's okay to critique him, but still support Nick and Olandria as a couple, but also understand that if we park Olandria to a side, Nick and how he treated her was horrible. And so he got his lashings because of what Cierra stated. I saw a lot of people on the TL posting tweets, and I'll post some of them here, whether you agree or disagree. You can always let me know in the comments below. But I do think that this man, I don't know. I just feel like, am I seeing the spirit of Gregory? Am I seeing the spirit of, I don't know who came? I just feel like I'm seeing spirits, guys. And it could just be PTSD and trauma, but the way this man treats Cierra was crazy. I'm glad she spoke up and said something, and people are really upset with Nick in that moment of time. I feel like it's kind of died down. It wasn't really too big, but he was definitely getting lashings on that on the TL, because a lot of people are looking at him thinking like, what are your motives? What are your actual motives? Because if you treated Cierra like that, what makes you think that you won't treat other girls in the future like that, whether it be Olandria or anybody else, you know? And then people were saying, well, you know, Cierra helped to save Taylor. I believe Nick did the same thing. So I just feel like, you know, I really just don't understand it. I feel like that man, it is just annoying to me when you see different women of color who are either being dragged, lashings 24/7, and then you just have Nick who is just glazing over everything, and I'm just like, how is this man getting away with everything? I just really don't understand. I really don't get it. But clearly people are beginning to see stuff and they don't like his ways. But Cierra addressed it. Nick got, you know, his lashings or whatever he got. I don't think Cierra's going to be at the reunion, guys. I feel like once she's been kicked off the show, they're not going to re-invite her to the reunion. The production, NBC, Peacock, they see her as a liability, especially because of all of the bad press that she's getting. So I don't think that she's going to be on the show. I want to speak about Cierra in a separate video in regards to that, but I don't think she's returning to the reunion. I think all of that has now been packed up, and now we're just going to focus on Nick and Olandria and wherever they go in their relationship, and we'll just see what happens. Time will tell. And, you know, hopefully they get some deals. I believe Amaya has been signed to a major talent agency. Nick was even seen having big meetings with a different talent agency. So I feel like this is in the next couple of weeks now, we're going to find out who's going to be signed with who and what deals they're going to be getting in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Clark and Taylor, I believe, did a advertisement for a brand. I don't know what they are, and my apologies. I believe it's a brand in America. They're not really known here in the UK. They were doing an advertisement together, so of course they're getting the bag as well. Even Andrina's getting certain deals here and there, which is great to see. Miguel and Louis have unfollowed each other. I didn't even know of Louis until this week. So, you know, he might have been in some Netflix show, but I definitely did not watch it. But basically, Louis unfollowed Miguel first, and then Miguel unfollowed him back. I believe they were roommates, they were great friends, and I believe that this whole saga is deeper than Huda. I believe it's something else that's brewing, that's going on. And I feel like after Huda and Louis were seen together, certain people, I believe, unfollowed unfollowed Miguel, whether it be Leo or anybody, not Miguel, child, what's his name, Louis. I feel like they all just kind of unfollowed him. He didn't like it, and I believe he had probably an argument with Miguel behind the scenes saying what's going on, and Miguel's like, you know, I have to prioritize my girl before you, and I think that's what basically led to the downfall in this friendship. Do I think that Huda and Louis make a good couple? I honestly don't. I don't know what the hell is going on between them two, holding hands, smiling. I just don't think that it basically needs to happen. I don't think it's going to be good for her. I believe that she's going to be going into the same cycle again. This girl is talking about how you know, people are talking about how a man can save Huda. Really and truly, Huda needs to come save herself before any kind of man saves her. She needs to focus on herself, go into therapy, be single for a very long time, focus on everybody around you, like your family and your children and your child. I just don't think that you need to be in a position where you are running into another kind of, you know, situationship, relationship. It's just going to be toxic for you. I just don't think it's what she needs. Her followers are climbing much more faster than I expected. I believe she's on 4.2. She is set to be the most followed US Love Islander probably in the next couple of weeks or so. And I say it, as I said in my last video, she definitely is going to be competing for Molly May, because Molly May is number one. So, you know, after she overtakes Leah, which I think is definitely going to happen whether you like Huda or not, she definitely is going to be coming for Molly. The girl has barely posted. She's only posted her podcast interview, and she's about to be the most followed member on the US season, the US franchise. Like, after a couple of months of her posting, whatever deal she gets, whatever agency she signs with, by the end of this year, I can see everything doubling and matching Molly and really overtaking her. And I think that Molly is definitely aware of this. And I feel like she wants to be number one islander. She has been since. And no one's taken that crown. But one thing about crowns is sometimes they tip. And I do feel like Huda is en route because her traction is absolutely insane, especially on TikTok as well. It is ridiculous how much love that she is getting and how many people are supporting. I'm not saying that you can't do that. People can do what they need to do. But I just hope and wish best for her. And when I mean that I just want her to be in therapy, single, focusing on herself, focusing on her businesses, her coin and her money. You don't need to go to men right now because evidently the way you move, you're just not prepped. I just don't see it. I'm excited to see the development of Ace and Shelly. I really want to see where Nick and Olandria also go. In terms of other couples, Amaya, I believe, and Brian are there, and I do like Amaya, and I'm excited to see what she's going to do. And of course, you know, we're going to see what this reunion is going to give. I think it's going to be very dramatic. It's going to be very toxic. There's so much that needs to be addressed. They're all contractually obligated to attend, so I don't think anybody's going to be skipping out because they will be severely punished by NBC if they do so anyways for future prospects. I don't think they want to do that, but it's going to be a very dramatic reunion. It's going to be toxic, guys. Do you understand? This ain't going to be no light-hearted, you know, Love is Blind reunion. This is going to be some toxic, dark cloud of mess. Even without Cierra, it's still going to be a dark cloud. It's still going to be messy. It's still going to be dramatic. We know Huda's going to be one of the main storylines anyways, so it's just going to be a lot. So don't expect it to be some lovey-dovey stuff. It's going to be deep toxic. I don't think it's going to be too dark, but I feel like it's definitely going to have a lot of juicy moments. I can't wait for the reunion. I can't even speak. I can't wait for the reunion. Do buy your tickets. They are in the link below and in the pinned comment. Let me know your thoughts are on this video. You know I love it when you guys agree or disagree. Let's start conversations whether you agree with certain things that I've said or not. But yeah, this season 8 letting up. It's been a week and a half and there's just been so much drama. Like, who would have thunk that I would have been doing another video on Love Island USA this season when the show has very much ended? Subscribe if you guys want to. Comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys soon for another video.